JD Vance has been a devout Catholic since 2019, or 3 Fast and Furious movies ago. And now that he's on a book tour promoting his brand new book about becoming a Catholic, which features a picture of a Methodist church on the front, we've gotten a deeper look into JD's particular flavor of Catholicism.
The Pope's role is as a preacher of the gospel, certainly an important moral voice, but I think somebody where you gotta weigh everything.
What I would hope that the Catholic leadership has learned from some of the things that me and Marco and the president have said about immigration.
Now, in case you haven't heard, in Catholicism, the Pope is a pretty big deal. It's sort of a whatever he says goes type sitch, or if you took Latin in high school, ex cathedra. So it's not really like a two-way street of scriptural interpretation between the Pope and JD Vance. It really just goes in that one direction.
I think it's very, very important for the Pope to be careful when he talks about matters of theology.
He's the Pope and has been serving the church since the first Star Wars movie came out. And you've been a Catholic since Rise of Skywalker came out. What sort of scriptural wisdom do you have to offer, JD?
That's why we don't like low-wage foreigners coming in and undercutting the wages of American workers. We want normal Americans to be able to live a dignified life, and I think that's a very, very Christian concept.
Yeah, what's that one passage? It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for some low-wage foreigner to enter my country. That's how it goes, right? Perhaps Vance's most overt application of Catholic doctrine as vice president was his use of St. Augustine's Ordo Amoris to defend the cruelty of the Trump administration's policies.
There's this old school, and I think it's a very Christian concept, by the way, that you love your family, and then you love your neighbor, and then you love your community, and then you love your fellow citizens in your own country, and then after that, you can focus and prioritize the rest of the world.
Now, St. Augustine didn't actually make that distinction between our close neighbors and our far neighbors when he first came up with the idea of Ordo Amoris, or order of love. His order was pretty simply God first, yourself and other humans second, and then material pleasures last. Vance seems to be drawing more from St. Thomas Aquinas' interpretation of the order of love, in which Aquinas states that, yes, practically, one should prioritize their love more toward people in their vicinity. However, Aquinas also makes sure to say that this is not a rigid order. Sometimes it's better to help a stranger who's in dire need than it is to help your own father who's not in dire need. I'm not saying that American political leaders should defer to the Pope or St. Augustine or religion on any matters. But if you're going to go parade around on a book tour about how you've been a good Catholic boy since the last Avengers movie came out, it helps to show that you actually understand the Catholic doctrine that you're using to justify your administration's inhumane policies.
That's right. JD Vance, the vice president to Donald Trump, actually said he hopes that the Pope and the Catholic Church learn something from him and Trump and others in the administration. Every single aspect of JD Vance is 100% false. It's phony. It's all a facade. There's nothing real about this man, right down to his fucking name. He's not a Catholic. He never has been a Catholic. It's performative and nothing more.